What is up, guys? Steven here. I'm going to be bringing you an OU replay today against my boy Scotti. This ended up being a really good game, so I figured I would show y'all. The team I'm using is a new team that I made last night, and I don't really want to reveal all of the sets yet because I do plan on trying to get into, I don't know, maybe top 20 with this team and then rate my teaming the team. Because it's really fun and it's pretty interesting. So looking at team preview, I do believe that his Charizard is going to be Charizard X because he does have Rapid Spin support and not Defog support, unless of course his Mew does carry the Defog. However, I'd like to believe that he would not have Rapid Spin and Defog. I don't know, but I just think it's X. And the biggest help on my team is definitely going to be my Landorus. Since I am Calm Mind, I can put a dent into the majority of his team, especially the Charizard. If it's Charizard X, then I can pressure it before it Dragon Dances, which would be nice, and Earth Power hits everything other than Dragonite if he is Charizard X. In addition, Excadrill is always a problem, and I'll have to be wary if it is Mold Breaker, because my best switch in then would be my Gastrodon, which I also need for his Dragonite. So let's get right into the game. Like I said, Landorus is the biggest threat to his team, so I led with it, and I'm just going to click Earth Power turn 1 as he goes into his Hippo, and it does not eat that up. And now I predict the switch into either Charizard or Dragonite and go for Psychic, and he reveals that he is Leftovers, which is really cool. But that allows me to go into Gastrodon as I am physically defensive, and I'd carry Ice Beam specifically for dragons, so as he tries to substitute here, I can easily break his sub with the Ice Beam, and I really have no reason to do anything other than go for Ice Beam again, as he goes into his Ferrothorn, and I get the clutch turn 5 freeze, well-trained Gastrodon, freezing Ferrothorns across the nation, and I go into my Bisharp, and I'm not really sure what he's going to switch into here, but I just get up my rocks. So at this point I realize I have no switch into Charizard, so I choose to sack my Scizor, as he reveals that he has bulky Zard X, which is great for me. As I said, I do have that Landorus, and I predict a double Will-O-Wisp, and I go for Swords Dance. Like I said, I was sacking the Scizor, so I figured I might be able to just get a little bit of chip damage off before he kills me with the Flare Blitz. Once again, I go into Landorus, and I don't want to over-predict here, so I do go straight for the Earth Power as he goes into his D-Knight. But once again, that allows me to go back into Gastrodon, which basically hard counters this Dragonite. And he goes back into his Ferrothorn as I Ice Beam again. That's fine. And once again, I'm able to go into my Landorus, which is a threat, as he goes into his Zard X, so that was a great turn for me. He goes back into Dragonite and Earth Power again into the Dragonite, so that's alright, as I just make the same play again and go into Gastrodon. And he is not at multi-scale range, so I actually predict him to switch into the Ferrothorn this time and go into my Landorus. And he is frozen, so I basically have a free turn here to do whatever I want. So I go for the clean Calm Mind, and I Earth Power and I crit him, which actually did end up mattering. He is specially defensive Mew, so sorry about that. And now he brings in his Hippo to sack it to get the sand up and go into Excadrill. And for some reason I just expected him to not kill me, so I stay in an Earth Power as he Rapid Spins. Now he's able to go into his Dragonite, and Gastrodon again walls him, as Gastrodon is actually a really bulky Pokemon, so I have no reason to do anything other than go into it. And now I Ice Beam as he goes into Zard, and he takes that pretty well as he is bulky, and I predict the switch and go into my Bisharp after he goes into Ferrothorn and get my rocks back up, which means that his Zard X will be gone for the rest of the game, and that is nice. And now he goes into D-Knight, and I'm just going to go for the knockoff, which brings him down to 3%. And my thinking here was I didn't want to allow him to switch, so I just stayed in and continued to Iron Head to keep him below 25%, so that he could not switch out and come back in on rocks. So I'm basically sacking my Bisharp here for the good of the team as he continues to roost, and this last Iron Head brings him down to 21%, but the Leech Seed does bring him back up to 30%. However, I can go into my Thundurus and revenge him, which is nice. Now he goes into his Ferrothorn, and I go for the clean superpower, and it only does 42%, which is not a lot, so that was kind of disappointing, Thundurus. I mean, I expect you to be more powerful, you know? As he just Leech Seeds me to get some residual, and at this point, he seems to be spamming Leech Seed, so I kind of wanted to just keep superpowering him and then finish him off with Landorus, but I figured that at this point that was not really likely to happen, as he gets up a Spike, and I reveal my Choice Banded Rotom Wash and trick him the Choice Band as he Power Whips me, and that just annihilated my Rotom. But what that does allow me to do is to clean up the game with a combination of Superpower from Thundurus and Earth Power from Landorus. So that was a really cool game. It was a close one, and it was cool battling you, Scotti, and I hope we get to do it again. So if you like this video, please leave a like or a comment, and see you next time.